Ladies and gentlemen, this is Tommy Pie. Welcome back to another new TARDIS Mod video. So today we're going to be comparing the 1.12.2 new TARDIS Mod to the 1.14.4 new TARDIS Mod. From force fields to custom data pack features. I'm going to be covering most things in both of these mods. Not everything, and it might not even be most. But the point of this video is to show a really clear contrast of the team's journey to making such a great mod. And also, the reason I haven't uploaded in over 2 weeks is because I've been working on another Minecraft channel. And I've just uploaded my first video, to Floating Island Hardcore video with my mate. And I will be posting some other Minecraft content on there. And it was quite interesting. So if you could help me grow it like this one has, I would really appreciate it. So with that said, let's get on with the video. So firstly, we're going to take a look at how you can obtain a TARDIS in both of these versions. So in 1.12.2, you want to get yourself a TARDIS Coral. So you could either wait for this to grow, or you could do /TARDIS grow, and then nothing will happen. Now I remember this, you just have to give it some time and do it multiple times sometimes. This materializes for the first time as a TT capsule, and you look inside, you have, my friends, are you ready? The bigger on the inside effect. Check it out. I cannot tell you how much I miss this effect, but I'm afraid the team just can't include it in the 1.14.4 version, as well as they can't make Optifine compatible either. This is not their fault, this is 1.14.4's fault, but it's still a thing. So to obtain a TARDIS in the 1.14.4 version, you need to find a broken TARDIS exterior. I did just spawn one in right here, but you want to find one in caves or something like that. I've made videos on how to find them. Right click it with clocks until you see these love hearts, and then you get the 4D I can't pronounce that geometry thing. You get an achievement, alright? So the first interior in the 1.12.2 version is a very basic kind of regular TARDIS interior, you could say, or at least that's how I like to describe it. It looks like the very early Doctor Who style TARDIS, and with no roof whatsoever. I don't think this is very unique, but it really works for a first interior, I must say. Now the first interior in the 1.14.4 version is really beautiful. It's such an original interior, I think. I'm really sorry if this is copied from somewhere else. I just lack a lot of knowledge. But with the sparking console, the vines everywhere, and the hanging wires, it really looks dead this time instead of a ready-to-fly TARDIS. And that's what the 1.14.4 version is about, I think. Building a connection with your TARDIS, building it over time. You don't get an insanely overpowered traveling thing when you start out instantly. You need to grow it, you need to get it good first, if that makes any sense. So in the 1.12.2 version, the console is quite basic really. They didn't do much with the 3D modeling, and it's just kind of press this button, makes a sound, you know, on, off. I mean, it looks really good. I remember when this was released, I was really fascinated with how great this console was compared with other mods. But I mean, let's be real here, it's nothing compared to the 1.14 console. They really added some 3D modeling in this. As you can see, everything is lifting up from the console instead of just button there. It even spins around, everything's interactable, makes custom sounds. The throttle and handbrake were just really impressive, and the randomizer. And they've added multiple of these kind of 3D textured consoles. I mean, check that out. That is awesome. So in the original new TARDIS mod, the monitor is very basic. It's just a black screen with letters on it. But let's take a look at the force field here. The force field is something I really miss. It is a bit overpowered, but I mean, check this out, ready? It literally just gets kicked out. Nothing can stop this thing, alright? It uses your Archron Banks, but I mean, you can just refuel them, so yeah. But I completely understand why they wouldn't add it into the 1.14.4 version. Then you got stealth mode, which just completely makes your TARDIS invisible. It is quite wacky really. Go to change interior, preview all these interiors, I'll show them a bit later. Toggle hum, waypoint, change console, subsystem readout, see all your component stuff right here, nowhere near as cool as the 1.14 version. Chameleon circuit, change the new exterior, then you can click escape, which sends you back to your spawn point like this. So in 1.14 the monitor looks like this, a really nice aesthetic look for a monitor. Timeship flight information here, a waypoint screen, changing your interior again, change console unit, change exterior, which is like the chameleon circuit. Got a security sub-menu. You can toggle an alarm, scan for life signs. Now you can also toggle a force field on this, but I don't think it's like the one in 1.12.2. If you actually try and do that, you need a shield generator and everything. It just proves how much more depth there is to this version of the mod. Now you've got the interior properties sub-menu. I absolutely love this thing, experimenting with the light level and different interiors to see the best aesthetical outcome. I don't know what I just said, man. Console variant is an incredibly cool feature. I mean, check this out. Then in the exterior properties, you've got anti-gravs, which is another awesome feature of 1.14. Your remat type, an exterior variant, which is like the console but for your exterior. So like I can change it to rusted. Shift, right click, and we also have this feature where you can see the outside. Then you can set a landing code for the transduction and landing pad. I recently made a video on it, it's my last video. Today are the monitors of both the versions. So now I'm going to compare some of the interiors you start out with in the mod. So here is a 1.14.4 interior, the Alabaster interior. Really cool, really nice TARDIS in my opinion. I don't know why I'm ranking them and giving my opinion, I've done a whole other video on that. And here is a 1.12 interior. Now I remember using this interior for my Series 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Tommy Pie. Welcome back to another TARDIS Mod video.
I do miss it, but as you can see, it's really basic. I think they put their time into other things when developing this mod. So there you go, I just showed you two interiors. There are way more and way better ones, but there you go. So now I'm going to be showing you some equivalent blocks and items from the versions, and some general items too that one mod might have and the other one might not. So first up, remember these, the steady state micro welding station and your sonic workbench. One you can make and repair components, the other you can change your sonic screwdriver layout to whichever doctors you want. Doesn't that remind you of something? Yeah, that's right, it's pretty much the brass quantiscope, but the brass quantiscope offers supreme sonic customization as you can change each individual part of it. And then of course you got your more in-depth component repairing, component making station here. There's just way more to it with this brass quantiscope. So in 1.14, this TARDIS Diagnostic tool does some really cool stuff. When you move around and point it in the direction of your TARDIS, it'll give you this beeping sound as you can hear. Then when you right click it, you get an overview of all of your components. Now the 1.12.2 TARDIS Diagnostic tool is similar. First of all, you need to right click it in your console. I do like that about the 1.14 version, how you don't need to bind it to your console, it instantly knows it's yours. So now we have binded it, you right click the floor here, and I did just right click it previously, but you get an overview of your components and your TARDIS exterior location. So they both do similar things, but of course 14 more in depth. And of course in 1.12 you've got the food machine. I really like the food machine. If you can shift and right click and you get like 16 of it. It uses your Archron Banks, but this is really handy and allows you to play more of the mod. However, again, it is a bit overpowered to be fair. Both of these versions have a Toyota spinny majig. Here is the 1.12, here's 1.14's. I personally prefer 1.14. By the way, tell me your preferences, what you miss and what you prefer about each version. I'm really interested. So in 1.14 you have these two chairs right here. You have a red comfy chair and a wood-lined crash chair. Whereas in the old version you just have chair. Now two items that are very similar in these two versions is this Archron Bank. If I place these down in the interior, and I am currently refueling, I can store over 256, which is the default amount. So when I break these, it'll go back down to 256. Now that is very similar to the Archron Banks section of the TARDIS engine, and as you can see, you can type in Archron and you get all four of these tiers of different Archron capacitors, and they effectively do the same job as the Archron Bank. And they effectively do a really similar job to the Archron Bank. So now let's take a look at how the ARS eggs look in both of these versions. So in this version you right click it and you get this really nice display of all these blocks you can get from the ARS egg. I mean, these are loads of blocks you can choose from here. Take a little look at the model as well. Meanwhile on 1.12 it's called the ARS tree egg, and you right click it. The models look incredibly similar. They might be the same, I don't know. But you right click it and you just get this one option of some Toyota blocks. And remember, there is a way you can code it to set more, but the point is you can only get one block from this. So it's a clear win from the 1.14.4 version, the ARS egg. Now, does anyone remember these Tardis Toolkits? Basically what they do is, if your components are damaged or not 100% in the 1.12 version, it would make them all 100 instantly. Well, not instantly actually, by 15%. So as you can see, not all of these are 100, so I'm just going to right click the middle of the console loads, and then when I look back at my subsystem readout, they're all 100. There you go, there's the TARDIS Toolkit. 1.14 does not have it, but I can totally see why. It's just a bit strange, really. Now, one thing I noticed about the 1.12 version is they have loads of stuff from the Doctor Who franchise. You got a Fez, you got Bessie, Look at that. Oh, car. Woohoo! And you've got First Doctor's cane, Sonic Shades, wow, I remember them, bow tie, 13's coat, and Fourth Doctor's hat. It's not really necessary, it's just a lot of fun really, but it's something that the 1.14 version does not have. But what it does have is a TARDIS monitor remote. If you shift and right click on your monitor, you can set your extension length like that. And now it's gone really in. If I right click it again and set 1, it's still going to stay really in. I don't really know much about this, but you can adjust the width that goes out, and I don't think this is the correct monitor. I don't know, man. You can also see your scanner view. So as you can see, I'm orbiting around the TARDIS this view at the minute. If I right click shift, I can click southeast and it just stays in a fixed position there. In this version, you also place a waypoint bank which will store all your waypoints that you save, or it might give extra. But in the 1.12.2 version, you literally just create a waypoint using just your monitor, but you use one of these in this version. 1.14 has a vortex manipulator. It has so much to it now. It used to not, but now it does. This is something the 1.12 doesn't have at all, and it is an incredibly good feature. But anyway, now I'm going to be demonstrating some flight. First of all, 1.12.2 has more dimensions. It has the nether, the end, but obviously. But it has space, Telos, I don't know how to pronounce that, the moon, Gallifrey, and the overworld. Gallifrey.
Gallifrey. Do you hear me?
So I thought a way to compare our flights is by me going to Gallifrey. So you simply just right click the throttle. We're now going to Gallifrey. It's that easy, boys. Looking in the monitor, your Archron Bank goes down, obviously, and you have a time left thing here which counts down. Now our landing, we are getting a screen shake, and we are here at Gallifrey, and we have landed in the water, and wow, look at Gallifrey. Woohoo! Gallifrey looks gorgeous, man. So let's have a little go at 1.14.4 flying. So the stabilizers are on. I don't really feel like having a crash course, especially because I haven't flown a TARDIS in like months, so I don't really want to mess this up for a showcasing video. I'm going to randomize the coordinates. There you go. Nice animation. Going to set a dimension to... I'm going to go to the overworld. We're using the telepathic circuits here. I feel like going to a jungle. Wow, I actually located one. There is another thing, the 1.12.2 version can locate biomes and stuff from incredibly far. We are limited down to 500 blocks in this. So I'm going to take the handbrake off. I'm going to left click the throttle. Not the throttle, the throttle. Get nice love hearts. And as you can see, nice animation when I turn the throttle on. And usually I'd be going for a crash course right now, touching on these buttons, but I got stabilizers on, so it doesn't really. But another thing about this version, you can shift and left click this during mid-flight to instantly land, pretty much. And we have now landed, as you can see. Water is tipping in from the outside. So a couple of things I just want to talk about are the components. Now I am digging down because, yeah, there's the entrance to the TARDIS engine. In 1.14, there is an entire TARDIS engine down here, a 3D model you can interact with, a block, alright? As you can see, like that. And it works like an ender chest. I got components here, destroy it, nothing will happen. And then I just place it here. Hold on, let me just get some light in here. Oh, that is bright. That's a bit too bright. Perfection. We right click on the blue parts, you get components, which are like the interstitial antenna and the fluid link and all the other components you need to fly. Get your charging panel, you put sonic screwdrivers in and Archron batteries for your vortex manipulator. You have upgrades. Now upgrades is a huge part of the 1.14 version. What do you have here? An atrium upgrade and the electrolytic, I can't really pronounce it, and a structure locator. I can tell you this takes blocks with you when you travel. This makes it so you can breathe. That's an incredibly brief thing, but upgrades are really cool. And then Archron Banks, which we've already discussed. Yes, they really went to town with making like an immersive component and TARDIS engine in this version. In 1.12.2, all that ship maintenance stuff, you just click a button and it's all here like that. There you go, that's how you view your stuff. Nothing else to say, really. So lastly, I'm going to show you some interiors from both the versions. Check this police box out from 1.12. It's got some really nice colours here. It's not that 3D, but it'll do the trick. And I remember really liking this one, but it wasn't my favourite in the 1.12 version. Because I really liked this interior from 1.12. This is really nice and detailed, and I like the colour a lot. I'm pretty sure this is the first Doctor's, but it reminds me of the 10th Doctor's. I don't know whose Doctor's it is. I don't want some actual smart person in the comments saying, "Oh, this is this," because I will just remove you from my channel. Not necessarily saying that's a punishment. But anyway, to actually change interiors in the 1.14.4 version, you want to install a chameleon circuit like that. You know, your nice steering wheel looking component. You do need to do that in the 1.12.2 version, but you usually come with some anyway. Then you click change exterior. A lot of these interiors actually need to be unlocked, but I'm going to show you some ones that you start with. You start with the steam one, which we are right now. You start with the clock, a TT capsule, phased optic shell, which is kind of cool, a KT booth. And if I do a special command, which is that, I unlock all of the freaking interiors. Now I can unlock a police box Mark III, baby. Changes the interior door like nicely, and as you can see, there you go. But I really like this thing, the Mark VII interior from the 1.14 version. But anyway, that's all I've really got to say today. There are a lot of things I could have said, but that's all I'm gonna say. But like I said, this video has been about showing how well developers have been developing this mod, and just the difference between the two versions, because it's really interesting, and I'm sure it brought back some memories for the people that played on the 1.12.2 mod. If you haven't, I would give it a shot, but thank you all for watching. Please check out my other channel, I'll link it in the description, and I hope you have a nice day.